there. Schönfire going to be the first target. Vanguard Z is going to make Yusui dive back onto King, and he does get the kill. The stun only lands on a diamond, but I think that's a second kill that they can get. The shield and the stone plate, not enough, but the stun is perfect. Bullet time trying to clear the way, but Fudge gets the eater up for the knock-up. And that's one Nexus turret down. Cow dives in, but it looks like he's dead in the front side, but the Vanguard's edge is nice. Yusui trying to dive through the fight, but he can't find the key targets, just channels to W and will fall down as Cloud9 Academy will finally finish off the game.
The backside of the fight, this is the first time the 100 Thieves has really had them all cordoned off, and can they get the damage that will take TSM down? Contract's about to fall now as a double kill goes in for Evolved, and now it's Aligo who may just fall. Nobody from the flank. It is going to be the cannon barrage from Dokla if they know this is going to be down, but he has to watch for that damage he's providing for them. Throws it on it. Baron goes in. It's going to be Spikas. The bullet time rips across 100 Thieves, and this could be the one that empties their pockets completely. Here's Dokla and Evolved. They're inside the base, and they're letting the super minion do most of the work as they add the final touches to the Nexus. Hello and welcome to the 2020 Spring Academy playoffs. I should say welcome back. We are back on the attack, and we got two juggernauts going head-to-head today in Cloud9 Academy and TSM Academy. I'm Rivington Bisman III, and with me is the biggest brain in Academy. It's Barento Raz Muhammad. Raz, how's it going? How you been? Glad to see you're well.
Thank you. I mean, I've been watching a few games. I mean, LEC playoffs, last series just ended right now, and you had LCS playoffs. It's just around the world. You're getting good games of League, and I think the best series right now in Academy is just about to come up, right? So I'm excited to see Cloud9 Academy and TSM Academy.
Yeah, right. Cloud9 getting through in that first place of Academy. So they've been getting to see everybody and what's going on. But let's look at what they are actually up against. And focusing on the bot lane first, Lost and Treats look like a literally different bot lane coming in here for TSM. And I think it's going to be something they need going up against the powerhouse of Cloud9.
Yeah, remember the last series that TSM Academy had versus 100 Thieves Academy? They just destroyed the bottom lane of 100 Thieves Academy. They looked so damn good in the 2v2 alone, and that has just been a constant for me when I've seen Lost and Treats play their 2v2s, and the team just as a unit play towards the bot side of the map. So it's going to be a good challenge for Cloud9 Academy to be able to contest that. I will say this, I've been a big fan of King and Diamond. Diamond's Thresh has just been permaban on the bench, I mean, for a few splits now, but for good reason. I think he's a laning phase dominant player. And King, although, you know, coming in from Oceania, he's had a kind of a reputation of being a weak side player known for strong team fighting. But I've actually seen him as a really strong individual player in lane as well. When he first started his career off in Oceania, he was seen as one of like the best, maybe top 2 AD carriers in the region. And then he's just been a lot more of a well-rounded player. So as you can see, the stat for me that comes out is jungle proximity. 23% is huge. I would have expected it to be much larger for TSM Academy because they have been a bot side centric team. But Inori has just been really playing towards the bot side strength of Cloud9 Academy, so I think they're evenly matched.
And it will be interesting to see, looking at their past few games, Misfortunes, Varus. I don't think the Callista is actually there for King, and we have seen that from Lost, so maybe that's something they can throw in there, and you get some Callista Taric, as we have seen that quite a few times. Looking across the map as well, we talked about the jungle proximity we'd see in the bot lane, but top lane is also a cool matchup here with the new guy Fudge versus the Rock for TSM and Dokla, the big Yokla. And he has been able to have that veteran status behind him in some tricky situations that has brought him out on top.
This is where I now question Cloud9 Academy's strategy coming into this game. Because they have the best top laner right now in Academy, and Fudge has just been so damn strong of a unit for the team coming in. But as you saw from the jungle proximity, like, he's just good on his own. Just leave him on an island. They should be playing towards the bot side of the map and trusting that Fudge should just be able to handle Dokla top side. The trap is when you go up against TSM Academy and you just play towards top side. That's what 100 Thieves Academy tried to do. But then Dokla, as per usual, just plays back, loses gracefully, and allows his team to just play so damn well towards the bot side of the map. So what I would love to see from Cloud9, understand that you have a great top side of the map, but you don't need to do anything up there. Just let Fudge roll.
Let him go. And he's shown so much, actually, in variants of Ornn, Set, Camille in just the past 3 games at their end of the season. Now, remember, they've been able to watch everybody. They haven't had games yet, but just knowing that the composition he can help bring to the table gives Cloud9 flexibility, and that really goes for a few of the positions. We are in a champion select for this playoff match, patch 10.6, and our first bans are actually going to be that Kalista coming in from the side of Lost. I was saying King didn't have too many games. I'm going to look back through, and nothing on the second half says Kalista, but it's like riding a bike. These guys play it all.
Kalista is just way too strong of a pick, and you should never assume that a person never doesn't play that champion. It may not be a preference, but at the end of the day, if you give them the Kalista for free, they will first pick it. And another thing too is that Fudge sure plays it, has played it in solo queue, and so it is also just a good flex pick that you should respect. So makes a lot of sense to take that away. I expect Varus to be left available just because the Tahm Kench was banned by TSM Academy. So you usually don't get to see Tahm Kench bans on red side. It's a blue side ban, just because you do not want to give away Varus, Tahm Kench, and it's not really a first pickable champion. So a bit of a surprising ban from TSM Academy. They just don't want to deal with it.
We'll see the Jarvan come out, taking that away from Spica. We saw a big play on the intro from him, stealing away the Baron with Senna, Tahm Kench, and Aphelios. So they're just, TSM has just basically said, like you said, Kalista flex, but also that bot lane's a problem. Get King's Aphelios out of there. We want to make sure we level out the playing field right now.
And here's the adaptation that teams have been making in the last few weeks of the regular season going into the playoffs. It's been like the juggling of which one do we prioritize between Ornn and Set. Teams have been either picking the Ornn on first pick and then giving away Set, just because it's much stronger team fighter. But with the Blade of the Rune King changes that have come up, Set is just so dominant up top lane. So you just pick them up. If you have a inferior team fight comp, then you just split them up and bully the Ornn on side lane. So I think it is a much stronger pick for Cloud9. Also remember that it is just a really good flex pick for support. I'm sure Diamond is calling for Fudge to just say, no, give me the Set. Give me the Set, pick a counter pick into the Ornn. There we go. Diamond just says this, give me the Thresh, because finally it's available to him. So
why not?
There we go, locks it in. And it makes it so it's very obvious now that Fudge could just be picking up the Set. Remember, it's still a flex for jungle as well, so Inori could be potentially playing.
Yeah, jungle threat. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what they have here. Nautilus gets locked in, so a lot of meat on this side of TSM right now, and they do need to protect Lost on that back line, being able to send out the bullet time. So we'll see what further bans come through. It seems like he's pretty safe for now. Not too much can get to him. They banned the Elise, another thing that can get to that back line through this tanky team. And we'll see what Cloud9's focus is.
So Cloud9 already had banned J4 on first phase, so they don't need to worry too much about the MF, Ornn, team fight strength that will come at them. I think Sejuani is something that I would like to see from Cloud9's side. So the Olaf ban is just kind of yelling that we want the Sedge. TSM should just ban it, in my opinion. I don't think they need to deal with it. And I don't think they want to go for a Trundle 5 pick on red side. So I guess they're just respecting the Rek'Sai from Inori. Okay. Inori is a great Rek'Sai player, has always played towards early game pretty heavily for his team. I just want to see if there's going to be any respect towards the tank picks here in the jungle.
10 seconds for Cloud9 as they roll out the clock.
Another thing to make note of too is that Gragas is available.
Nope.
So, there we go, gone. I was about to say, because the one thing teams are always concerned about is Gragas Kiana, Gragas Pantheon, Gragas any Gragas and incredibly strong AD mid will deal with mid laners so easily. So Zoe's being the obvious pick now that Gragas is off the field.
That Zoe pick, we saw it doing quite a lot of work in the LCS the past few days here. Niski just wreaking havoc with that. And Evolved has a great Zoe himself, so we are going to see him trying to put up some big damage numbers with his paddle stars. Trundle on the side of C9, and we'll see what they have for their final pick here. 20 seconds left. And then TSM's round out. What will we have in that jungle?
Could be, I'm just thinking right now, Cloud9 Academy should roll up for... LeBlanc is a weird one. I would think more so Victor, something that is more so a controlled team fight pick that they would want here. But LeBlanc being picked means that they want to play towards side lanes here. They have a stronger 1-3-1 easily. they don't want to be in an even number team fight. TSM should try and index in that team fighting. I love this hover. I don't usually want to talk about hovers, but I think Spica is a great Graves player. It's also great into the Trundle matchup. You don't want to pick a tank jungler here, so just lock it in. That's a wonderful pick for Spica, and now you can try and roll up with, I would say, your bot lane. Bot lane should have priority in the bot side of the map, which means that you can try and bully Inori on the bot side jungle and try and get advantages there.
Spica's actually showing up quite hard over the past few games. He had a lot of Jarvan plays in the 100 Thieves series, but his end of the season was Sejuani, Jarvan, Trundle, Zac, Olaf, Lee Sin in a row. So the uniqueness coming out right there. You're talking about him being able to do a lot. See what the Graves can put up this game as he tries to avoid that subjugation from Inori's Trundle. What a fantastic lineup for our first game here. Both teams trying to flex a little bit on each other. I like it. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break to preserve competitive integrity. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, we will have this game as it is, and Raz and I are going to cast it live for you. We'll see you soon. What's going on, everybody? We are back for the 2020 Spring Academy Playoffs. Riven Raz here, back at you, and we are about to get into game with TSM Academy versus Cloud9 Academy. Remember, Cloud9 has had a chance to watch everybody play. They watched TSM take down 100 Thieves, but we still got a really nice composition for both teams coming in. Raz, I'm excited.
Well, here's the problem, Riv, is that Cloud9 Academy really get to learn much at all in the last series that 100 Thieves played versus TSM. True. Because that was just TSM just rolling them over in laning phase. Like, literally the first 10 minutes was just tragic from 100 Thieves in each game. So from Cloud9's perspective, it's like, I guess we got to see the comps, but we already knew what they played throughout the regular season, and they didn't change anything. So I want to see if TSM is, their ability to adapt in draft during the series, because they showed great ability to adapt and play during the series versus 100 Thieves. I still want to see if they can play a different style, but they have to be pushed in game one for that to happen.
Well, we'll see how much push and shove comes in this game. It's game number 1. We're on the Rift. You have not missed anything if you are just tuning in. And myself and Raz will be giving you the gameplay all along. Remember, the 5-minute break we take there is for competitive integrity, to make sure these games are played at the highest level and the players don't have to worry about anything other than what's on the Rift in front of them. We see a little line of scrimmage being set up here by Cloud9 as they hang out. Spica may want to get a ward in there. No sweepers here to start just yet, and early wards play is not going to happen.
This should be a fairly, methodical game, a slow type of game. A lot of the times you'd have to look at the jungle positions to really make that kind of call, like Trundle versus Graves. Graves should just be trying to get insight on where Inori is starting and where he's pathing towards to get those advantages, at least from, just experience leads overall. Trundle will just want to be able to keep his bot side safe with strong enough vision control. So, that's what I'm looking towards for the first, 5 minutes of the game. It really is dependent on how well Treats and Lost will do in this laning phase. If they can, get a good enough trade value in the first 5 minutes, then Spica has a direct lane to play through. So just relying on his lane so he can start invading a little bit more frequently.
Overall, where do you kind of give that lane in terms of advantage with Lost and Treats versus King and Diamond? Would it be Lost? They can win the lane, so they're just going to let it push, or how do you think they'll play it?
They should just be able to push out the lane. The problem with Thresh, as much as, how strong Diamond is on the pick and how well he's known for the pick, it's just a Nautilus advantage. He's way too tanky. He has a lot of CC in his kit. So whenever Diamond positions for a hook, Treats should always be in position to block it, or at least to just be able to respond with a hook of his own. It's a much faster casting time. So Diamond wants to play this lane a little bit more passively. It just really depends on if the poke from Varus Q lands.
And there,
so far it is.
Yeah, exactly. And the level 2s as well, and 1s and 2s being played there from Diamond with nice flay damage. Not much Nautilus can do there. We'll have to see once he starts getting a hook up. It's evolved here, farms up against Palafox. Interesting picks. Our first Drake's going to be Infernal. It'll always be a bad day if Palafox has to go against Mountain, and that's what TSM can grab. He won't be assassinating anybody. So we'll keep an eye on what element is going to change our Rift this game. Nice dodge on Dokla there from the damage highway of Fudge's Haymaker. And they're just going to go ahead and clean up. So a quick push from Fudge. He's going to get some early vision out. Looks like he's trying to self-sustain up there and not need too much help from Inori, which kind of plays to what you were thinking. Set up that vision control bot, and it starts already.
Yeah, just giving good protection to Diamond and King in the bot side. Had them pushing out, and so he knew he had the first push at Scuttle Crab. It'll make it a little bit harder for Spica. Spica probably didn't expect Inori to be pathing from, top side to bot side. He probably doesn't even know that Gromp is still available for Inori here. So he's just completely seen out, which, quite frankly sucks for Spica. Spica just needs to farm up because he doesn't have much of an opportunity to look to pressure at all. You can even see Palafox actually positioning towards topside, just seeing if he can contest the Scuttle Crab on topside for Graves. This is an unsafe Scuttle Crab for Graves.
And there's also movement coming in from a few more. C9 definitely has the upper hand here as Fudge takes a bit of damage topside. Still feels like he has the fight with the grip building up and the shield coming out. And Dokla is going to have to walk around his own Volcanic Corruption there to make sure he gets out safely. Still a great fight from both as they are probably ready to go at it again. See if we'll get it back here from Fudge, actually.
it's kind of crazy how poorly it could have gone for TSM there. Just because Dokla, if he had gotten hit by that haymaker from that W from Set, would have just gotten messed up and they would have no priority up top side. You can see Set actually rotating here.
Yeah, it didn't fully back. So Fudge does decide to stay. They're still going to have great vision on to speak that he's backing right away. And moving again. And Nori's going to hang out low on mana there. But they're just making sure if Fudge takes a bit of extra damage, Speak is on the other hand. Also to make sure Dokla doesn't go down and he can just say, hey, I'm behind here. You probably don't want to dive my top laner either. So a little mind game from both Cloud9 and TSM on the top side, as bot lane didn't actually get themselves into too much trouble down here. We do see a slight lead in CS, but still looks like it's in the lane for Lost to pick up, so they aren't falling too far behind.
Yeah, so far it's been a good early game from Cloud9. And the most frustrating thing from Set in his kit is his health regen. Because even with that trade, he regen right back. That's what made it very difficult for Spica to even think about a dive up top side, is because even with some of the bad trades that have been coming across, it's Dokla that's been running out of mana, and it's Fudge who's been pretty safe here, but maybe feeling too safe.
He used the Q to go in. I think that's what's going to seal it for him, and here's a few shots coming in. End of the line is what they call it from Spica, and he grabs first blood for TSM Academy.
He was just scratching his head. It's like, why is Spica up top side? He should be going towards the bot side of the map with his farm up, but it wasn't the case. Felt a little bit too confident. Thankfully, he didn't blow his flash. Fudge still has that available, because he was going to die anyways.
Knowing better in that situation that, yeah, I went hard, I activated my Q. Pretty much sealed the deal for him. Coming up on 6 minutes, a quick hit here onto Infernal. What do we got next? Oh, it's going to be Ocean, so Cloud or Mountain is actually going to be our one to change the Rift. And at first blood, we'll see how it went towards that top side. He was bloodthirsty. He's like, you're low on mana, that's my fight.
Yeah, it was a really good grain timing from Spica anyways, because even if Spica didn't actually, or Fudge that is, didn't make, like just didn't run up to Dokla, the wave was pushing into the Ornn anyways. It would have been turning into a freeze regardless. So Spica had two options: farm up his bot side camps or going for a kill that was almost guaranteed on Fudge, and chose the right one.
Spica clearing out Gromp as he tries to get himself into a scuttle position again. Doing a great job of being omnipresent on the map and really tracking where Nori was for a moment, but also Nori seeing him. And I think that change of information allowed Spica to say, you know, we can make a little bit more work on the top side of the map. 59 to 61 here on bot, as this is still a big focus for us in this lane. Obviously, Treats and Lost don't want to go down to King and Diamond on that hook, and vice versa. A rotation here up towards that mid lane, though. See if they can get something cheeky going on. But everybody is backed right now, so it's all for naught. Just kind of figuring if they could do something in the lull of the game.
Yeah, it's a lull point only because Cloud9 Academy had traded the top lane kill for a dragon. Otherwise, this would have been a great dragon timer for TSM Academy. They had pushed out a pretty large wave in the bot lane. Naturally, that would mean that C9 Academy couldn't do too much because they would be tethered underneath turrets. But this is just a good attribute of Cloud9 Academy, is that they always are able to trade something if they lose something on the top side of the map. Or like, I felt like that's been a great attribute of Inori. Always in position for a trade. So that happens here. There is bot side vision for TSM Academy, but there's nothing really to play for another 3 minutes. So it's not worrying Cloud9 at all.
More sparkles. Please no. Evolve going in for some damage onto Palafox. And still, you know, Spica's going to head towards that top side. It seems like they say Lost Treats, you guys can keep yourself safe. Even if you find a Trundle in that bot position, just make it rain and throw down a bit of slow. They can get themselves out. Level 6s are hitting across the map, so we should see some explosive fights here, or at least a fight soon. 2.5 minutes onto that Drake, but we're also looking at Rift Herald now up onto the map.
This is going to be a tough time for Graves to operate on the map because he doesn't really have too much setup for a gank, like through mid lane. So he would have to operate on both side lanes. If he goes bot lane, he would be losing because Inori has been playing there pretty frequently, and so that would just be a lost 3v3. Going top side has been what his strategy was, but you know, he's being caught out in vision. There's been a rotation here for Rift Herald, though. TSM has to rotate to it, so it looked like that could be our first fight of the game.
Yeah, especially with Dokla having the Ornn Horn up. Good damage from Palafox. They didn't know Dokla came back out of lane, had no vision behind the Rift Herald pit, which has now allowed both teams to kind of congregate here around the mid lane. And I think we're going to get it, Raz. We're going to get a little bit of mid lane fighting going on here. 9 minutes into the game. The hook almost hitting a beautiful pillar from Inori to stop him dead in his tracks. Still wants to throw out the depth charge to get some damage down, and it looks like they are going to be taking down Diamond first, as they got enough to cut him down. Treats could follow very fast as he has to initiate as the support. Fudge drops him with a quick punch to the jaw, and that's a quick 1-for-1 in this fight. Looks like both teams are happy with that so far, because neither was really able to get the upper hand.
Yeah, I think it's better for Cloud9 Academy because they can now go for the Rift Herald here. Evolve doesn't have mana. Treats was forced back. That being said, I think they're just going to be a lot more comfortable basing and trying for it again. You can just see how hard it was for Cloud9 to even take that fight. With how well the Trundle Pillar is placed to stop Treats from coming in, if anyone engages, they just get popped. Diamond tried for it and got destroyed by TSM's front line. So it's really difficult for Cloud9 Academy to ever take an even number fight you can see from here.
That's a great way to put it, right? How often, and we'll keep track, can Inori hit those pillars? And it hasn't been used on something else. Treats gets in, it's going to be mayhem. Getting a ward in, Treats wants to see what's going on as he looks just over the edge of the Herald pit. Teleport coming in as well. That's going to be Dokla from the top side. Horn is halfway on cooldown, so you're just going to get a big initiation. They hook him so he can't get his Searing Charge in, and it looks like Rift Herald is going to go down into the hands of Inori as he falls, but they are still going to get that map pressure wherever they want to use it. We're switching it back to the top side now, and it looks like the marksman will be farming up here.
This is the fun aspect of just playoffs in general, is that teams either come in really passive or overly aggressive. In this sense, TSM had no reason to be forcing a fight, but they were calling a bluff. There was no vision onto where Lost was, so C9 was like, well, they're forcing this. I mean, maybe they have the numbers. We have no idea. So they gave away Inori just to get the Rift Herald, where, you know, some teams would challenge for a fight there. And if C9 had called that bluff, they would have won that fight.
Seeing where the movement goes now and see how much more they are willing to fight. I like that point though, right? You're in first game, you're not as tempered, you're definitely testing your boundaries. If you're feeling yourself, you're gonna go in each time. And we'll see. Spica feeling pretty good right now, 1-0-2, especially with Dokla riding that same KDA towards the top side of the map. They will grab Ocean, and we'll get to see what our Rift evolves into, as they're gonna be going fast, which doesn't quite hurt for TSM's team to want to get around the map.
Yeah, but you're just already seeing how often TSM looks to rotate members and how willing they are to lose farm and experience for the overall team objective. Because that was Lost in Treats actually forcing mid-prio with his team and then losing, I think, a few minions up topside just to be able to get the Ocean Dragon. And it seems like, with at least with the pace of the game, that it would be a soul type of game. If teams are getting pretty comfortable with how their comp operates, like C9's comp is on side lane, so they should feel confident as the game goes on no matter what. And TSM group up and play through mid on Zoe Poke. So both teams are pretty confident as the game goes on to elect to play their strategy. So I think as the game goes on, it'll get even slower because they don't need to take any added risks.
Palafox almost grabbing Evolved right behind the Rift Herald pit there on the minimap, but they didn't seem to get right into a fight. Quick Ignite down there from one of his side summoner spells. He still has Flash up on the side of Evolved. And the vision is actually pretty defensive here for TSM. They expect C9 to be pushing into their jungle, to be trying to get over to that red side, and they are actually giving quite a bit of protection towards the top now, as they have switched that marksman towards the top. Dokla, not so much vision down here, actually for both of the C9 and TSM Dokla. But we'll see if they can keep themselves alive for a game.
So it's interesting to see that Cloud9 has decided to send their bot lane towards the bot side of the map. So their duo lane, King and Diamond, had been pressuring top side, but I think they like how their vision is. You can already see a few control wards already been placed and been protected on the bot side of the map. And also they want to find a place to use Rift Herald. With the 2 turret plates there, it'd be easy pickings, for C9.
Already down below 2 plates. This will be a quick hit for the Rift Herald. Nice money to Fudge as well. King's actually going to get his hands in that pie as he gets closer up to the turret. And we can just see the gold differences left and right. They're going to run this for a second charge. It looks like they're going to get it 4 strong on the bot side. They already have a solo working mid, and Cloud9 is just working completely around TSM right now. Here comes the Horn going through. Fudge is going to be the focus. Looks like the rest of the team is going to turn tail and get out of this one alive, as long as they can keep Palafox alive in the mid lane. Losing 2 members, makes it sting a little bit more, but they brought in a lot of global gold with that, and they are still going to be quite in the lead, I feel, even though they're down a bit in gold. Well, look at this push from TSM top. I could be wrong.
Really, really confusing. Because for the viewers, they think that this is probably better for TSM, or at least the better decision. But I actually thought the decision was just completely like well played by Cloud9. Because if you think about like strategically what they should have done is, you know, push into the second tier turret. If it gets contested by 3 members, then you rotate mid and look for the mid lane outer turret and at least chunk it for as much as you can. And if you actually get pushed on mid lane, then they can no longer threaten your top lane inner because you can collapse on them. Cloud9 had just made objectively the better decision, but then just flopped so heavily. And then lost 2 members on the first step. So it sucks if you're Cloud9 Academy knowing that you made the right choice, but you just executed poorly.
You hate to see it. The TSM is really working off it well, knowing they can get back into the fight. You can't deny that Dokla Ornhorn, he is going to throw it out and the team will follow up. Powerful stuff from him, matching scores still from Spica and Dokla as they try to best each other here on KDA. The bot side of the map hasn't been that much action for Cloud9. We expected to see quite a bit explode once we got to the fight phase. Really, it's just kind of been back and forth guerrilla warfare on the turrets, so not as much grouping just yet for these hooks to be hitting. It's a more reactive play once C9 gets to those fights. So we'll see what happens if they get a fight on their term. TSM right now feeling good to keep stepping up. Treats, hooks have not been a second thought for him. He'll throw it if he sees it. Now that we're starting to get core items onto those damage dealers, we'll probably see a bit more of the fights. Palafox taken to a side lane by himself, and it starts to happen here around 15 minutes.
Kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, in the sense that neither of these teams want to take that risk when they know that their comp is completely fine as the game goes on. Now, Palafox, of course, is elected to move away from the teleport, so you have to see Cloud9 playing towards him pretty aggressively. This means that they're willing to give up the dragon. They don't want the 3rd dragon. It's not essential. They want to be able to open the map up a little bit more and play towards side lane advantages, but it seems like they found a pick here.
FLICKR, is it going to be? Oh, my word. He's like, I can do that too. Stopwatch goes down from both of your supports. Oh, the showstopper into the rest of the team. A triple flay coming out from Cloud9. And can they finish the kills? The initiation was explosive. They only come away with 1 so far. Palafox isn't done as he wants to get in a Spica. Just 1 more attack in the chain brings the pain. But here once again is Dokla throwing down the brittle. And he has taken down Cloud9. 1 more member there as Diamond falls. And again, TSM find the end of the fight to be where they have the upper hand.
Yeah, the longer the fight goes, TSM will be able to get a little bit more off of it. But that was a good pick from Diamond, because they'd played towards topside, they were electing to trade, but then they found Treats, walking a bit way too far away from the objective they're trying to play to. Found an easy pick. The only problem is, Nautilus a bit too tanky with Aftershock, so he stayed alive for a little bit too long. It's hard to see that, but at least once again, another proper decision from Cloud9. The only question you would ever levy is execution.
And what was our focus if it wasn't bot? I think it was top. It might have been Dokla. And 303 now with a bounty on his head. I think we saw Dokla as well playing a few different things throughout the end of last week. When TSM came through with Poppy and whatnot, trying to play strong on that.
That's true.
He knows when he can sit back and tank, but he also knows when his tank can go forward and start to destroy because he had a good landing phase. So Dokla coming out big here to start this one off. We're just coming up on the 20-minute mark, and we will have our next Drake in about 4 minutes. So things should be pretty patient on the Rift here as, again, we continue to farm. And TSM might be looking for more hooks as they have feeling pretty powerful at this point in the game.
Yeah, that was C9 looking for a fight because they thought they saw a good window, but they initially wanted to play a slower, more respectful-like game. So, in the sense that they were expecting 0 kills to be on the map. For the next Dragon, though, there should be a fight. You do not want TSM to be in sole point. They want to look to challenge that, and the way to do that is, bully Dokla. Sad thing is, this man's big Dokla right now. He's big Dokes. He's got 3 kills. He's huge. So either try and force Dokla on side lane, or try and make it so Zoe is under tower of top side. Either way, make it so when next Dragon comes up, TSM is only really challenging with 4 people rather than 5. That's the goal for C9. I think they're playing to it pretty good right now, but we'll have to see if they're disciplined to that.
Palafox is so hungry right now. He's like, I got a finished item. I got my pen boots going into brush that might have 3 people in it without vision. He just wants to deal the damage that would change the flow of the game for Cloud9, and he can't find it right now. Everybody's playing super safe on TSM, and I give him a lot of credit. When you are in the lead, it's very easy to overextend your boundaries just a little bit for a ward, because you have more damage, but they are keeping that win condition in mind here and not allowing the LeBlanc to get any more of the lead.
Yeah, that's a good call. And interesting enough, you just taking a look at how TSM is like pushed for lane assignments. They made it so Lost has been catching top lane waves. That's usually pretty risky. You need your AD carry to be with you and your 3-man around mid so you can contest for vision. It's already 2 minutes now, so the 2-minute warnings hit. The problem with this, now they put a Evolve topside, that's good. Because you can't contest for vision if your AD carry is not there. So it's a little slow, but maybe he's close to getting his Infinity Edge. If he get that huge power spike, then it'll be a lot easier for TSM to be looking for these fights.
Absolutely. We haven't even really seen a good bullet time rip across Cloud9 in these fights, so upping that damage is going to feel beautiful for Lost. Blade of the Rune King with a bit of attack speed as King builds up into his items. And I'm sure they're actually sitting on pretty good gold all around here. Nobody wants to leave the current state of the rift out and the map open. No. The waves are pushed into good of a position, and they don't have full vision over TSM. Now going back behind the Dragon Pit to set up these pink wards, and looks like an area they'll be able to defend and want to defend.
Now is the time. Here's the window for Cloud9 to look.
Oh, baby.
Take a look at LeBlanc up top lane. LeBlanc has had a pretty big wave shove up for Zoe. My issue is they're not doing anything with it. So now that they've had that wave pushed in, LeBlanc should be rotating mid, and they should be looking for a fight. I think they are going to give away the next dragon because they're looking far too scared at this period.
Ooh, there's the chain of corruption
there we
coming
go.
out. Horn comes through. Dokla waits very patiently, getting the double knock up on the backside, and here it is, the showstopper back. That's going to be an instant deleting of that's Treats going down as he tries to get the summoner spells out. Palafox finally gets the rotation over, and there's a piercing arrow through the heart of Spica. But again, the fight goes too long. Evolves here and now. Dokla can turn around as the cooldowns are back up, and C9 has to be okay with what they've achieved so far, which is actually very good in this fight. But you see, still tempered to keep going in. It's difficult to tear through this entire team of TSM.
It's really tough when you're going up against Zoe. But that was beautiful from Fudge. Great flank ward that was there, so when TSM tried to just siege up the mid lane turret, that suddenly Fudge could be there to start the fight. I was concerned at the beginning because it didn't seem like Cloud9 were playing to their comp, but Fudge was willing to pick the fight. But you can already see the problem with playing against Zoe is that whenever you get a few kills, she pokes you down, so now it's TSM that has control over the dragon when they have lost that team fight.
For a moment, I thought Evolve's Blade of the Rune King was Nori subjugating him when he ulted him for a second. I was like, wait a minute, you did what? They're playing it smart, though. Evolve just getting out his actives that he has as they go back and forth. And we'll see how they can play this one from the mid lane.
I think C9 can take this fight. That was the real flash of Zoe, by the way, when she was trying to get poke on the king.
Coming into this one,
they've all based,
what's your
sadly.
focus, Raz? Who's going to be your focus in the next fight?
Next fight for me would be Treats.
Okay.
Going into this fight, he actually had the stone plate advantage, so any fight that he picks would be 100% TSM taking that win. It was C9 taking a step back, so now C9 is off the driver's seat. Like, I don't think that they have much of a control in this game. They have to respond to next dragon, so that means like they have to respond to TSM's 5v5. Even if that means that you know, TSM's abandoning Wave's top lane, or like even an outer turret, an inner turret top lane, they're completely fine to do that so they can get Cloud Soul. So easy fight for Treats. C9, it needs to be Thresh finding a pick. They need something to make it hard for TSM to take any fights.
Oh, we got the back line. You got to be kidding me. King almost goes down immediately. Honori's going to have to be the frontline tank here. Fudge looking for a way in, but he says, no way, Jose. Palafox tries to do a little bit of trigonometry there and gets himself in and out with the Ignite coming through, and he is aggressed on. Diamond still wants it, but the rest of the team has already backed off. There's the defensive flash. Cloud9 looks all sorts, and Treats engages are disgusting right now.
Big boy treats, man.
Wow.
The most obvious one was on King that took his flash. The one that people will probably have missed was Palafox. When Palafox was jumping in, when he was going back to his W, it was the hook of treats that also got the flash off Palafox. So that it was literally 2 hooks in a row. They got 2 major flashes from the carries of Cloud9.
Treats has everyone on lockdown, and this literally, it's not the full team, but this should not be an easy team to grab. The ADs are going to be on the back line. Palafox is jumping around. You don't want to really grab a Nori, Fudge. You can grab Diamond, but none of the hooks have been incorrect, and everyone he wanted to go in on has literally netted the team a win in these fights. So great participation from him coming into these ones. The bot lane coming up big from TSM, and it's what they needed. Dokla stepping up too. It's all working out for TSM right now. Treats, another good hook. Dredge line to safety as Palafox always going to chase. We saw him doing this a little bit earlier, and it's always going to be safe for him to try and add that damage, but it's got to be a lot more and a lot faster if they want to be taking TSM down.
So here's the tragic thing, because there are a few fights, the most obvious advantage is if someone gets a kill, right?
Okay.
But then there are some fights where it's actually better to die than to lose a major sum. That one, there's no objective on the map. You can argue that Baron is there, but you can stop them from taking Baron very easily with these comps. But having 2 major flashes being lost on King and Palafox at the same time as Soul Point is coming up for TSM, that is a very easy fight for TSM to pick up. Now it's Cloud9 looking to get any Hail Mary. You can see LeBlanc already so far up top lane when C9 is barely pushed up through mid. That's because she's just trying to find a pick. But you can see through the minimap, Graves and Nautilus are both there to stop even that. So this is just TSM on their game.
Look at Diamond's first purchase, the Great Fight Extender, also known as Redemption. They are trying to last just as long in these fights as TSM is right now with all of the HP they have on that front line. So really starting to understand they're getting pinched in and trying to get those items quick. Big damage for Palafox. See if he can do anything on the side lane here as him and Evolved will continue to meet up. And we're coming up on 27 minutes in. Soul Point in just 1 minute here as TSM may fight for it. Upgrades too for Dokla and Lost. They're starting to get even bigger just on those stats.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if you look at the gold value, it doesn't tell the real story of the game. Even though it's like directly even in gold, it's TSM that's just benefiting so much. With level 14 on Dokla, he's going to start, upgrading Ornn items. The first one on Lost, as you had mentioned. Like these type of things are going to increase value efficiency for TSM, and at the same time, it's the game state that matters. The game state heavily benefits TSM. And I wonder what Cloud9 is going to do to get themselves out of this one. It looks like Fudge is going to join Cloud9 to fight for mid lane Prio. There we go. You need that from Palafox.
That's some sting. Hextech Protobelt there on the side of Evolved. We'll see if he uses it. Oh, the flash forward from Treats. The bubble hits King as well. He doesn't even get to blink. The crown has been shattered. And Nori is now going to be the focus. And Cloud9 thought they had moments, seconds even, to work with there before TSM would engage. But they hit the go button immediately and have Baron in their eyes.
Yeah, screw the dragon. Go straight towards the Baron objective. Now it's only Palafox and Fudge that can contest this, but they should not. Push through mid, get the waves proper so when TSM are back on the map, they cannot, or at least they have to take a little bit of time to get any objectives themselves. So really good fight for TSM.
Picking up the Baron, and Cloud Soul is up. They're going to teleport right to it. Fudge is going to hightail it out of there. And what a just masterclass here of this early part of the game, especially against Cloud9, who we knew might be coming in a little off of their max caliber due to not having played. But TSM just seems so much more prepared here to start this one off.
That's the thing about playoffs, is that a lot of people's expectations coming in were that Dignitas Academy and Cloud9 Academy were by far the better teams, right? But it's the evolution of these teams in TSM and Evil Geniuses that have been the real story. TSM have become such a strong unit, and that's really challenging Cloud9 to adapt. What we need to see from Cloud9 when they play trickier drafts like these is to just, understand when they get to the mid game that it's up to Palafox and Fudge to rotate consistently and be far more vocal communicators to make the team rally around them. I think Fudge showed that earlier this game, but that's where my challenge comes to Palafox. So this is more of a challenge for game 2. It's more of a question if Cloud9 is more confident that they can execute on this draft, or if they just say, screw it, we'll meet them with another team fight draft ourselves and make it easier for us.
And is Lost gets hit up pretty hard there. The first time we've really seen the AD carry on the front line for them. C9 getting hungry. We talked a little bit about TSM and kind of how they've been working as that team, and it just seems to be a mantra throughout that clubhouse, right? That late game fight prowess, communication when the team's together also is something the LCS team benefits from. So it just kind of seems the way that it's honed there as they practice, and we're seeing that. It was laning phase 2 this time, so they're putting the full package together this time around for playoffs as they start to pressure this mid lane turret. Dokla's going to bring the bottom lane up ever so slowly, as they're being very textbook about this and making sure they're not overstaying their welcome in too many spots.
And that's the thing. I love what you just said, because I think for a lot of teams in Academy, a lot of their core values, how they see the game being played, will be mirrored with their LCS teams. You know, coaching staffs will communicate, will take ideas from each other, more so Academy taking ideas from the LCS team than anything. As I say that, watch out, Spica.
Palafox going in. Oh, Spica's got a flash out of that one. It looks like they'll be able to turn this one around. Dokla says, what, 3? You can multiply into 4 or 5. You're in here with me right now, as he quickly headbutts his face against the wall just to send the message.
He missed his ultimate, but remember, 3 Cloud Dragons will have that one soon enough, so he's not even that concerned.
Maybe he missed it. Did we miss it? The ultimate also gets Cloud Dragon speed. It's just going so quick, Raz. It's going to be a kill, looks like, coming out onto a Nori. Trundle goes down. The Troll will find himself back under the bridge and trying to respawn. 31 minutes on the clock, and TSM is in Cloud9's base. The hook goes out. That's a lot of turret aggro coming in as it's heated up onto Dokla. And the bullet time clears out C9 for just a moment to give TSM some breathing room. Redemption comes down, and it looks like they're going to go in for fight number 2. Palafox instantly dies. That actually looks magical from the side of TSM. The magic's supposed to be coming from the LeBlanc, to be honest. And it's a 5, almost 6,000 gold lead as TSM walks out with bags of money from the base of Cloud9.
Yeah, just let TSM leave already. Like, Evolve doesn't have mana. Same with Spica. They were just trying to head out, and Palafox was like, take my money too. I'm gonna throw my wallet at you. Don't worry about it.
You forgot one. You forgot one. King's gonna do what he can to start cleaning things up out here. Trying to get a little more critical attack for himself. Backing? No? Ugh. I mean, solidarity, just take the lantern sometimes. I swear, you make your Thresh player feel so much better. Just a little PSA.
Yeah, it's the instant, you know, adrenaline rush. You feel good. It feels good.
It's a dopamine hit. Take my lantern. Coming up here, 32.5. I mean, I'll be honest, I expected this to be a very good game, but I did not expect TSM to be, or I guess C9 in a base, coming up 30 minutes into this one. Looks like they're going to be able to push a little bit more. Nice job stealing away the blue as they can start to deny even more resources and get in the head of their opponents. Bringing it now down mid lane and top lane, Raz. Let's see what damage they can do this time.
Yeah, so Cloud9 did a good job from, you know, Fudge pushing out bottom lane waves, so it'll take a little longer for TSM to kind of get waves crashing in for the top lane inhibitor. That being said, I don't think TSM actually cares. They have a huge Ornn, Nautilus, like they can actually just look to dive here, is my concern. But with 2 super minion waves now crashing in from bot side, that's going to be much harder for Cloud9 to combat.
Who's going to be the focus on that one? Probably Fudge. Going to help with the Blade of the Rune King to knock those down pretty fast with the damage you get from set. So he'll be on the double super minion wave. They lock in. Mid lane's being pushed. Lost is going to be alone for a moment. I don't think he's going to get too much of a push on this wave. Just waiting for the minions to come out so they do not stop the top wave farther out than they want. He's playing it safe.
Okay. This is showing TSM's hand here. The fact that they didn't want to just go for the top lane inhibitor off it means that they're trying to just play towards the neutral objectives. More so Baron and Elder. I think they should keep their hands off Elder. I see too many teams actually trying to make the game a coin flip when they have such a huge advantage. Play towards the vision control you have topside, get Baron, and then just try to end the game. Make Elder a non-factor in this game.
Almost puts that pressure on them. They're going to say, well, if we do this, that Elder could be a non-factor. Taking down Baron for the second time. 20 seconds on to Elder. And what is that choice? It's going to be quite a lot of time to take that down. And Nori heading towards bot. The rest of the team is going to make the call. And teleport is up from Dokla. He can last inside that pit by the time his team gets there. And it doesn't look like they're going to do it right away. The vision set up.
C9 should know how fast it is for TSM to take this objective, but they're just going to force it. They need to. So this is the fight that now Cloud9 is opting into.
I mean, they waited so long. What a nice showstopper, though, coming in here from Fudge. It looks like they are going to take the fight. TSM tries to back off, and Cloud9's health bars just get depleted, lost, shreds them with a bullet time over the squad of Cloud9, and TSM is going to feel great right after getting Baron, pushing Cloud9 off of a hesitant Elder fight that they waited TSM to get to.
Yeah, Cloud9 just said, hey, we need a fight, anything to get back into this game. This is the best chance that we have. Hell, they even actually got evolved out of the fight before the fight even began. Like, they didn't have a mid laner, but TSM still were able to destroy them off the huge lead that Lost had. Now it's going to get TSM, that is, the first game of the series.
Oh, no fountain for you, good sir. The safety is gone. The Nexus is down, and TSM rampage through game 1 against Cloud9 Academy.
Hey, and that's the 12-game streak coming to an end for Cloud9, and it's at a bad time, isn't it?
Raz, the week 4 and week 7, I believe those were the replays for these teams. Let me see. Week 4 Cloud9, day 2, and then week 7, day 2 week 7, day 1 were losses for TSM. They were not able to win the head-to-head throughout the entirety of the spring split. And they come in here and they say, you know what, playoff form, we're TSM, let's go. And that is not something we have seen from them in such a fashion all season.
Yeah, I mean, TSM have just become such a strong team. I think I said it in the last series that I had them as, one of the best teams right now in the league. The only reason why I said one of and not the was because I just wanted to see what form Cloud9 Academy were in. And that they're showing right now that they're struggling with a harder draft, to be fair. So I want to see what adaptations Cloud9 is going to make. Are they going to double down? Are they going to pull the Zix strategy of saying, run it back, we'll go through the same draft, and we'll be confident that we can play out the mid game a little bit better? I think most teams, when the tough gets going, or the going gets tough, they will just decide to play a lot more of a straightforward team fight comp. So that's what I'm expecting from Cloud9 going into game 2.
All right, so the Cloud9, not the comp, still a stomp. They can get through with that composition. We'll see. That's from Raz. We'll see if they can get back in with that one. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have game 2 of Cloud9 Academy versus TSM Academy for the 2020 Spring Playoffs. Don't go anywhere.
Houston? The brightness is increasing. There it is. Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Cars like this don't come around often. The redesigned Type R, the most powerful Civic ever, from Honda.
So Josh, you going for our Drive Safe and Safe discount?
Yep, using the app, driving safe. You wanna go? You wanna go, bro? Hey, do not mess with my discount. Woo! You can save up to 30%. Let's go! Nice to meet you. Go get him, Tiger. Woo!
Sounds like you've got this.
Yeah, definitely.
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.